Hello everyone, welcome to today's lesson of drawing with Blizzard Ninja. So in this lesson we're going to be talking about referencing. So referencing is one of the most important aspects when it comes to drawing. It's one of the most key elements that we need, especially as an artist, because if you know how to reference properly, then your drawings will pop out really nicely, and they'll be more dynamic and they get to read properly. But the problem that most artists face is that they feel like whenever they're referencing, they're cheating or they're copying someone else's work and stuff. Guys, referencing is completely normal. A lot of people reference a lot. Like every single artist references a lot. So right now I'm just gonna show you some few ways to reference. So as you can see, this is Pose's reference. So what you call this thing? So as you can see, there's so much reference material that you can just find online and stuff. So it's either that or you can use what you call this thing? You can use a mannequin doll, like a Pose doll. Let me just show you Pose doll. Yeah, this item over here, so this item you can just bend it in different ways, in different shapes and stuff, for you to get the feel of what you're drawing and stuff. So of course they do come in different forms and all that. They come in different forms. There's even these anime style Pose dolls that you can use, anatomy dolls. So a lot of people use these, especially when they're struggling with drawings and stuff. I like when they're struggling with like posing and stuff. So they use this and they use referencing and stuff. But over here I'm just going to teach you something very simple, like how to just easily reference. So let me show you how to properly reference and how you reference stuff properly. Okay, so we're going to draw something. We're going to pick something to draw, something simple. Let's go for a top hat. Okay, so I'm gonna come over here and I'm gonna download this. I'm gonna download that. Okay, then I'm gonna copy. Just gonna copy this one as well. We'll download this one. All right. Now what I'm just gonna do is import I'm gonna import the two drawings that I've done. I mean the two reference images. Okay, that was weird. That was very weird, but it's fine. I'm gonna take this and drop it in there. Take this and drop it in there as well. So now I'm gonna open this one. Oh yeah, if you guys are wondering which software I'm using Krita. It's a free open source computer software that you can draw on, that you can draw in. Okay, I'm gonna switch that on off. Okay, nah, doesn't matter. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna start with this. We're gonna start with this drawing over here. Okay, so when you're referencing, the main thing that you have to focus on or pay attention to is the form and the shape that the certain thing is taking. So for instance, Right now, remember in my last video I showed you how to construct shapes and how to deconstruct shapes. Well, let me just say in my last two videos. So now over here you have to basically understand what's going on. You have to understand the structure that's in front of you right now. So you have to look, what is this? This is a circle. And again, don't be afraid to be messy. Be messy. Not the football player, but be messy. This is a cylinder. And that's a belt around the cylinder. So basically it's like it's a shape that's around the cylinder. So as you can see, I'm basically taking out the shapes that I'm seeing. Right, I'm taking them out, I'm taking them out, basically understanding the form of the hat in order for me to be able to draw it. And then there's a little something there. So as you can see, that's my hat. All right, and then of course you can you're gonna refine this. But now let's draw it in this angle now. Same story like before, guys. Nothing else to it. Nothing else to it. So as you can see, it's all just understanding the way the structures are in order for you to achieve what you want to achieve. Okay, now that I've done that, I'm gonna create. Now what you do is, since I've drawn two references in different views, in different shapes, now it's time for me to create my own type of hat. I'm now gonna draw my own hat, because now I finally understood what goes into it. You don't necessarily have to draw the way I'm drawing or do exactly what I do. You can just reference what you're referencing and then be done with it, and then be done with the whole concept. But for you to train yourself so that you can understand the different shapes and the different ways certain things sit with one another, understand much more complex shapes, what you do is you break them apart, and after breaking them apart, what you do is you now construct them in ways for you to understand that, okay, now this is what I'm doing. You know, doesn't have to be pretty. Doesn't have to be pretty. All it has to do is just, it has to make sense. Okay, wait. Sorry about that. Let me just quickly undo all of this. The thing is, for me, I love those flat top hats. You just have to understand how certain objects feel, you know. You have to understand how the feel goes, how everything is put together. And then only then that's when you'll fully understand how to construct. But then again, like I said before, just make sure you always have fun when drawing. You know, don't feel embarrassed at yourself or don't feel ashamed or anything. Just be like, nah, this is what you call this thing. This is my craft. I'm just having fun. I'm playing around. So, yeah. And this is a rough draft. So, I'm understanding the structure, you know, just understanding the structure of how certain things come to play, how certain things go along, you know, all sorts of stuff. And then I just put everything else together. So as you can see, that's a hat. So you see, just have fun with it. You don't have to be, you don't have to do stuff because you saw a professional doing it or anything. All you do is you just have fun with yourself. Just have fun. Let me put that detail over here. Zoom in. As you can see, you see how messy my drawings are. So you see, I drew the same hat just in different views. So that's the thing, right? So you understand the different types of shapes. Now let's take a look at more references and more reference images. So now let's look at something much more better. Let's look at Spider-Man. If you want to understand how to draw battle dynamic poses, Spider-Man. Because the reason why Spider-Man is because Spider-Man, he is fully clothed, but you can see his muscle, you can see his body structure, you can see everything, right? Because you know, back then people used to use models to draw. So the model will sit in front of the class and you will draw the model. When I say model, I'm talking about an actual human being. So then they'll draw the model, you know, and stuff. They'll draw the model while the model is displayed in the class doing some sort of pose, something like this, something like these, figurines, you know. So we're doing a pose. Nowadays, it's